So Tony Dungy was under attack by the woke mob this week. Not for anything controversial, not for anything divisive. It was a bill that was signed into law by a governor that people do not like. However, it has nothing to do with anything that you could describe as controversial. It's about fathers spending more time with their kids. It's literally to support fatherhood. But because Tony Dungy was there with Ron DeSantis, people like Keith Olbermann freaked out. That fraud Tony Dungy standing there cackling, also a fascist political prop. This you at NBC Sports, at SNF for NBC?
Like, jeez, man.
Keith Olbermann is nuts.
He's absolutely nuts. And congratulations on winning the woke tournament, the woke offs with the Outkick the coverage. Really prestigious award. Keith Olbermann kind of dominated. I don't think he even had any competition in that tournament. Rightfully so. I mean, the dude is absolutely insane.
Yeah, and so many of these blue check marks and the mainstream media hopped on top of it. Tony Dungy's reputation is not spotless, and his Michael Sam comments disqualified him from being considered an example of loving fatherhood. Now, do you remember the Michael Sam comments, Jeremy?
I don't remember specific. I remember the comment. I remember the outrage surround. I don't remember the specific comments though.
He was asked if he would draft Michael Sam, and he said, "No, I just think there's just too much distraction around Michael Sam right now." Nothing to do with that he was gay. Nothing to do with that. We can actually go to him clarifying exactly what he said, I think, down in the bottom. I was asked whether I would have drafted Michael Sam, and I answered I would not have drafted him. I gave my honest answer, which is that I felt drafting him would bring too much distraction to the team. At the time of my interview, the Oprah Winfrey reality show was going to chronicle Michael's first season. Of course, he didn't make it there because he got cut because he wasn't a good player. He wasn't an NFL talent. I was not asked whether Michael Sam deserves an opportunity to play in the NFL. He does. I was not asked whether his sexual orientation should play a part in the evaluation process. It should not. I was not asked whether I would have a problem having Michael Sam on my team. I would not. But of course, he got labeled as a bigot and a homophobe.
Of course. I mean, and this is the stupidity of people that get involved with try to pretend that they care about sports when they know nothing about it. We can take three people, one in particular you guys said we couldn't talk about today, but we have Colin Kaepernick, we have Tim Tebow, we have Michael Sam. All three of these guys bring distractions for different reasons. All three of them. Now, I think you can justify that all three of them, just based on a skill set or what they've accomplished, might deserve to be in the NFL. All three of them might deserve to be in the NFL just based on that. But when you add the attention that they bring, does the attention that they bring counter to all of the talent or lack of talent that they have? And most teams have decided, no, they don't have it. Now, if we're talking about Patrick Mahomes style skill versus the attention they bring, all three of them will be on the team and there wouldn't be any question about it. That's what this comes down to. That's it.
Why Antonio Brown. It's why Antonio Brown continues to get signed by team after team after team. Yeah, yes. He provides a ton of distractions, but his on-field talent is such that you're willing to deal with that stuff. You're willing to deal with the Randy Mosses of the world. You're willing to deal with that stuff, but you're not willing to do that from a guy who you're questioning if they're even like talent that's draftable level. It's just not worth bringing onto your team. Not because he's gay, but because you have camera crews following him around. If you do draft him, you'll be pressured to not cut him because he's gay. Like all of these different things. That's why so many people stayed away from Michael Sam. But what a lot of people labeled Tony Dungy simply for an appearance with Ron DeSantis was he's a homophobe. He's so wrong about black people that grow up without fathers. There's no correlation between that and ending up in prison. Well, Tony Dungy doubled down on this, which I love. Dungy doubles down on support for DeSantis' fatherhood bill, uses Obama's words against the critics. And again, this is Keith Olbermann. This is the quote, too, from Tony Dungy. This is going to be a tremendous and such good help to fathers in Florida. The bill is so important. I want to thank all the men and women who have been behind this. It's going to allow groups like All Pro Dad, Tony Dungy's group, and people like those here today to do great things for our fathers here in Florida. How terrible. How terrible. Now, this is Tony Dungy. After all of this went out, after he's getting called to be fired from NBC Sports, he's being called a bigot, all this. 2 days ago, I spoke on behalf of a Florida bill that supports dads and families, and it offended some people. 14 years ago, Obama said the same things, almost verbatim. I'm assuming people are outraged at him too. I'm serving the Lord, so I'll keep supporting dads and families.
perfect. Perfect response. This is how you respond to the mob right here. It's perfect. Go ahead, Ryan.
Yeah, and the thing that they were upset over was he essentially said, like, people without fathers are 20 times more likely to end up in prison or whatever. That the vast majority of people that get into the criminal justice system didn't have a stable household, or their fathers weren't involved with their lives. I don't know the actual numbers behind that, but people were railing him over that. And he's showing that Barack Obama said damn near the same thing. We know the statistics. Children who grow up without a father are 5 times more likely to live in poverty and commit crime, 9 times more likely to drop out of schools, and 20 more times likely to end up in prison. From their god, Barack Obama.
Mm-hmm. Yep. That's perfect. Well done by Tony Dungy. And it can never be easy when the mob is coming after you, especially with somebody like Tony Dungy. He's not a controversial person. He's a really kind of respectable guy. And so you have the mob coming for you. It can never feel good, but he just dealt with it like the professional that he is. So I think it's absolutely perfect. I love his response. And we need to see more responses like that. But you just see, man, that the tide is turning. It really is. It's not going to be easy. And these people that have decided to play victims for their livelihood in life, they're going to continue to double down. They're going to continue to try to screech and scream and try to, continue things in the path that they're going. But you can sense that things are starting to pick up. Momentum is starting to happen. And we just got to continue to keep these regular opinions valid out there and don't let the mob intimidate you. It's why we do what we do here on Sports Wars or Geeks and Gamers or whatever. We hear when people say, oh, you guys just shouldn't even support it or watch it. That's how they win, when people that do care about it just end up just completely walking away. If we feel that there's something to save there, like, yeah, and I do, like, sports is these freaks, they are not going to support sports. They're just not going to do it. They don't know anything about it. You know what I mean? But we need to keep the reason the ESPN dominated and became so dominant is because they were the only game in town. Now you see places like Outkick the Coverage and Barstool Sports and Black and White Sports and Sports Wars and out there giving our honest opinions and not being beholden to woke sports media or trying to pander to the NFL because we want their interviews or their access. We don't. We're just fans, and we're tired of seeing the bullshit. That's it. Simple as that.
Yeah.